It's another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heiny, man, what's on your mind?
What's happening, Johnny?
It is a beautiful day in America. My friend, my old friend, what is your beverage of choice, Henry? What is that beverage?
This would be, well, I've got a level with you, Johnny. This is Starbucks Italian roast straight out of the Keurig.
Nice.
With a generous serving of whipped cream right up on top.
Really? I didn't, I guess knowing your dad, I never imagined you would be doing a dollop, doing a luscious dollop, but...
Don't let the guys in the car club find out about that.
Well, I am impressed that you do the dollop. I definitely do the dollop. Lately, I do have a little newsletter. I have been trying to take care of my voice a little bit more. I have treated my voice with total disrespect my whole life. And now I'm trying to do a little bit better. So it's a lot of spearmint tea with a dollop of honey and cream. And, trying to be kind to my vocal cords. At the shameless plugs area, I will chit-chat about some exciting news for me. But not yet. That was a tease, as they say in the biz. So, the Keurig, it's not French roast. It's not pressed. It's not ground up and on your home $5,000 espresso machine. Just hot water, instant.
With the holidays and Black Friday just around the corner, you never know what Santa might show up with under the tree.
Hello. I like the sound of that. It will be a food-centric group of topics for me, Heiny Man, because with the holiday coming up, lots and lots of attention in my life is on the food. So we will be chit-chatting about that a lot, I feel. Tell me what's going on for you, though.
Well, sad news from the central New Mexico highlands, the passing of Bill and Lisa's dog, Jed, who's been there for 12 years. And Jed was a good guy. He could cross I-40 following Bill to work. There he is looking at a cow. And he would get across I-40, dodging, I think, the most semi-traffic you can imagine, and surviving it. Man. So he was a good guy, sorely missed by that family.
I love doggies and cows, so this photo is right up my alley. Our family is a big cow family.
If only they were better house pets. I mean, they're cuddly.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has like a donkey, a horse. I mean, he does not care about the house pet, but he has 15 maids that clean up all the herd of animals in his house. So I'm sorry about the doggy. Yes, death of the doggies in the families is like, ooh, man, a family member.
Tough, man. Yeah, it's no good. No good. But
sometimes we are sadder that our pets die than actual humans, because humans be stinkier than doggies a lot of times. Our pets are more beloved than humans. I know quite a few people that are hoping I am the next in line to kick over, but I digress. Well,
Well,
I'm sorry about that.
with Halloween firmly in our rearview mirror, let's
Yes.
move on.
Death and Destruction was the previous month. Heine Man, the whole name of Dunkin' Donuts is that some people dunk them in coffee or hot beverages. Do you actually dunk pastries into beverages?
Never. No.
No, I don't
That's
either.
a line I won't cross.
I think it's for communists.
I'll pair them. I'll pair them.
And what do you mean?
I mean,
Tell
I
me what you
will
mean by.
have a donut with a
Oh,
cup of coffee, but there is no dunking.
there
There's
shall
no
be
dunking.
and will be no dunking. I thought about because the name. I actually tried the dunking literally right before the show, and I found it to be horrible because what I ended up with is an abomination of a drink because all the you know
It's
all
like
the
a big
backwash and
donutty
goodies.
oatmeal.
I was enjoying an oatmeal beverage,
A
a
big poopy
healthy,
porridge.
a very thick cup of spearmint tea. So no, I'm with you. That's a good poll question. I did have one thing that we did have to address. Lisa Downey wants to know why you haven't given us a story about your buffet experience on your cruise. I know nothing of this, but Lisa says, how has this slipped your mind to this point? This being our food-centric episode.
Do you really want to go down that deep rat hole that is a cruise ship buffet?
So, but tell me, are there any dead rats in the story?
No. No.
Oh, well,
No. No.
well, then
But
yes, of course we do.
when you're touring the North Sea, out there dodging the oil rigs as you cross towards the
Hold on, Heine, before you move on, for the rest of us idiots, where is the North Sea? I do not have any idea.
The North Sea is directly north of Scotland, yet south of Norway, bordered on the
Okay.
east by the Straits of Jutland, where the famous World War I Battle of Jutland took place.
Thank you for that. A great reference for people like me. It sounds like that's where the show Shetland was filmed because they take a thing, I believe it's called a boat or ferry, to Scandinavia from Scotland. So I am now hooked in, but I did have to know. I have to refer it to a TV show or I know nothing of it. Thank you. Continue, please.
Well, as one
Sorry.
knows, I
dumb.
do have a penchant for the savory items that might be found on a cruise ship buffet. And this buffet on the Celebrity Cruise was not to be missed. But I found myself focusing as you get towards Europe and in England, they've been overtaken by people from India, which has brought in that influence onto the cruise ship. So many people at breakfast time are herding around the waffle bar, piling on the pancakes, and I'm zinging over to the lamb vindaloo, which they're just heaping out, and a little bit of rice, and I consider that dessert. Bill and
What
Lisa were
is
going in for ice
What is
cream.
that?
What's that?
What
What's
is
that?
lamb?
I don't know. I went once. I had an Indian associate, and we went to lunch one day, and we're talking about food and where he likes to eat. And he said, Henry, we went to this restaurant, and they just bring out a big piece of meat. And I said, where are the spices? And I said,
He likes the spices.
you know, I guess when you go to Ruth's Chris, it is just a big hunk of meat.
Just meat, just cow. They've warmed up.
So it's, you know, it's Indian food can be very spicy. And man, there's a ton of it. And if you can elbow your way past the big baron of beef they're carving up, in there are some hidden gems. That's their Indian food, which I was focusing on at the buffet on the cruise ship. And the other interesting thing is the buffet is so popular on the cruise ship that you can go to the outer door, let's call it outdoor poop deck, because there is no room to sit anywhere inside. And the people are out there enjoying, let's call it the breeze and spray that comes off the North Sea at that time of year.
Enjoying in brackets.
You want to eat fast before your food freezes.
The polar ice caps begin on your beverage.
You want to have a little clothespin on your collar to keep your napkin right there so you can daub away. Or so the wind will help you daub away as it goes. You can keep
a wipe.
Catching your napkin on your fork as you're going in.
I love it. Lisa, she was right about the story. It's very entertaining. And was this? And you were saying maybe the Indian food was not a part of the cruise in previous decades.
Never.
But now, oh really? Interesting.
No, well, not when you're bouncing between the isles of the Caribbean.
Nice.
Do they walk out and have, you know, the tiki marsala? Just get it right over there.
Love it.
No,
that's a great. I agree with the viewer mail today. That was a good food centric question. Well, one thing I did want to find out is we have spoken about mincemeat and our mutual disdain for chopped up raisins in what should be a delicious pie. What's your feelings on the fruitcake, the holiday delight that is the fruitcake?
Fruitcake has a long history in our family, and we have a secret recipe for fruitcake that has not been.
Your mom and grandma make fruitcake?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, and it gets wrapped in cheesecloth and soaked in bourbon or rum.
Well, it's sounding
an alcoholic
beverage,
and
that's sounding better now.
Not for the kids at the holiday, and we are not told the recipe is secret. I don't know what it is. My sister makes them now. One year, this horrifying thing happened is my mom came to visit in May and opened our fridge and found that we had not even unwrapped the fruitcake. And she was crestfallen, and I had to beg my way back on the fruitcake list to get them again. It's like the most shameful day of my life was when she found that.
Unwrapped, not even sniffed. You hadn't even nibbled a corner one night at midnight.
Yeah, we'd kind of forgotten about it,
Yeah.
It hadn't made it out to the garage behind the tires of one of the cars to keep them from rolling out. But there it was.
But does your sister give you the fruitcake now that she's making it, or are you off? Are you really off the list?
No, I'm back on the list. So if you come to virtually any holiday gathering here in Draperwood, you will find the fruitcake served. And the great part about this is there is no worry about this little secret slipping out to my sister because she hates the show.
She's one of the many who despise everything having to do with this podcast. Hates it. She's repulsed by it.
And this one isn't. And this one isn't. This episode will not warm her up to it at all.
Oh, well, if someone nudges her and makes her listen to this one, she'll think you're the best brother ever. Yeah, I've
we
had
do
to the
right now. The by the 12th day party,
yeah,
the fruitcake's gone. It's been annihilated, and it's great.
Well,
If you're up hiking in the mountains, say chasing an errant hound dog, and you have a little fruitcake, it'll put you up over the mountain and give you the extra juice you need to take down Stella like Lawrence Taylor.
Boost you like the office linebacker. I love that. That is a great big thumbs up for fruitcake. But it sounds like it's a lot better fruitcake than the rest of humanity is eating. Just as a side note, it does sound better than most people eat.
So no fruitcake in your home, Johnny?
It is universally despised because
Have you tried the Claxton fruitcakes?
No. I will completely be honest. I worked in a grocery store when I was younger, and it was huge. The influx of people buying the ingredients, so I can tell that there are people who make a fantastic family recipe of it. Those have not been eaten by me or anyone in my family. We do not like that item at all. But it's probably because we're ignorant to the boozy ones. I think there'd be a little more attraction had that been my first baptism to the bread.
Yeah, I would say there's not, the alcohol in it just barely even takes the edge off of a long day. So,
but the flavor, it's flavored out. Now, is there any food that if you had to go into the bunker, any food that you cannot live without, anything that absolutely you have to have? We're walking in, the bombs are falling, it's happening again, we're going to the fallout shelter. What food are you taking in?
Well, as the rockets fly, I would be scrambling through the kitchen to probably prepare a trout almondine.
Well, it's one of the quick fast food favorites in America.
That, or a duck l'orange is always, it might be, you could probably, during the attack, maybe leave it out on the porch and let the flash crisp the skin of the duck to perfection.
It does need to be crispy for it to be fantastic in texture.
That's right.
On that subject, I guess, have you pinpointed any neighbors that you would be willing to eat if there was trouble? Have you got a short list of those you could, nibble on in a pinch?
As I look at the people strolling past my house every day, I can only think that the meat would be extremely tough.
rough around the edges, little gamey.
Tough, maybe from too many years out in the pasture. Let's say that.
Yes.
But enough about cannibalism.
There's nothing more fun than dead rats and cannibalism for Thanksgiving.
Johnny, this is the special food episode.
This is. One thing I did want to pinpoint and tease coming up will be a particularly delightful, and we're going to have a bonus episode for Thanksgiving, and it has been rumored. A little birdie has told me that you will be doing an interpretive Thanksgiving dance that I am completely invested in. So, can you tell me, is it true? Will we see leotards and giblets in full frontal view?
I'm not ready to commit.
Oh, you will not. Well, and thank you for not spilling the beans, because the anticipation is part of the enticement. On this weird subject, there's it's eye candy. So this weird subject, I saw a commercial for a show called The Real Full Monty on Fox. Of course, it would be on Fox. It's celebrities, male celebrities, not necessarily in great shape, that are going to take off their clothes for charity. And I think civilization is at its end when you have people doing stuff for charity that show the giblets. It's not really, I don't find it all that great or rewarding.
I won't be tuning in, but perhaps the ladies will. And of course,
yeah.
Do you know the origins of the full Monty? What the full Monty is?
Well, I only know because everything happens for me with movie and TVs. I just know the movie called The Full Monty, and that is from 30 years ago. But I have no idea what the origin of the phrase is particularly.
Well, these are, I hate to drag World War II back into it, but these are the things that you learn as you are traipsing through the Imperial War Museum, reading every little sign for each juicy nugget. The full Monty is Bernard Montgomery of Alamein fame. Was the leader of the British, I think, Fifth Army, something like that. And he believed that every British soldier to go out and fight every day must start the day with the full English breakfast, which is a roasted tomato, beans, coffee, 2 eggs, and a Lincolnshire sausage. Are you seeing the connection between the full Monty and 2 eggs and a Lincolnshire sausage?
I have the innuendo. Shagalicious. It's not lost on me, but it's interesting someone else made that like a phrase.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't sound as good if it was the full Rommel.
I believe we should make something a tradition for Thanksgiving that's the full Hein, and it mostly involves 2 loaves of bread, just luscious, plump bread that's browned to perfection.
And perhaps a little tube of that delicious Pillsbury icing.
Yes, a tube. Anytime anything comes in a tube, you know it's good. Bags. Allison brought home a carrier of tacos from Taco Bell, and I always think as I'm having those delicious tacos that my meat came from a tube somehow. Always delicious. There's always a remnant after the pack o tacos, I would say.
Finger licking good. Wait, no, that's the wrong company.
I think it's the same corporation for some reason, because I've been to some drive-thrus that have all 3 logos. So, like, you can get KFC or Taco Bell or Duck L'Orange. It's weird. It's silly. Just silly. We spoke of 3 months ago for Eye Candy, a show called Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings on Prime Video, and very divisive, but extremely big viewership, like huge viewership. And it was, for most nerds, really boring. It's the prequel to the Lord of the Rings book, and uh, lots of people have tons of passionate feelings towards it. It is completely done now. It finished weeks ago. I've watched the ending, and in fact, they did what they should have done, which is save all the money for the last 2 episodes. So if you started that and just said, wow, this is a lot of people walking around in the dirt, it does get better. They spend a little more money on people getting chopped to death and orcs in the last little bit. So
Well,
there's the eye candy.
that's I would be exciting to see. So it's like a prequel to the whole thing.
Total prequel. You'll get to see all or most of the characters, and you get to see them when they're young. It worked so well for Star Wars because everyone hated seeing Darth Vader as a bad acting 8-year-old. So why not do it again for Lord of the Rings?
Well, one of my favorite characters that I'm very curious about his prehistory on the Lord of the Rings series is the character. He has the long beard. I believe his name is Dumbledore. And
you're going to get some hate mail from the nerds. The comments are not going to be about the buffet. I'm just telling you right now. The nerds.
I can only tell it like it is.
The nerds are going to have a photo of Hein up in their game room throwing darts.
He is the all-powerful wizard and controls it all. And I don't know.
J.R.R. Tolkien, according to Hein Man, a Christmas tradition.
That is right. That is right. So we'll be watching for him in the show. Probably, I don't know at what age you start on your big Grand Dragon beard.
Oh, very young, very young. In fact, your mom has to have started a beard, and then genetically it will help yours as an infant. So they come out with a beard that's pointy and fireworks shooting out of everywhere.
Lots of zapping and wands and spells.
Lots of electric stuff coming out of your fingertips, and oh yeah. The mixed metaphor for the nerds, they're not going to be happy. One great thing that we did want to thank everybody for is we've had some huge listener days. Like, the analytics are really great on the show, and to be honest, Henry and I did not think that there would be too many people outside of people that are paid to be nice to us, our family. We didn't think very many people other than them would be listening and watching. So thanks to everybody. It's fun. Everybody seems to be getting into it. So
technically, Johnny, I'm suppressing publicity about the show.
From the onset, you're like, I don't think I want people watching.
I guess I'll do this with you.
Your sister's reaction is what most people's reaction is. Ooh.
3 thumbs down.
Ooh. Is there a third thumb I can give? I mean, is there some part of my body I could give as a down that I don't have currently? So, yeah. So thank you. Everybody is very kind for doing their part, and no thanks to Heine's sister.
Perhaps we could enact a full Monty rating system. Give it 3 Monties up. I don't know.
Coincidentally, that should be a running theme for us. It should no longer be 2 thumbs up. It should be something else and 2 thumbs up if we really, really like the item.
Moving right along.
Moving right along from our full Monty-themed Thanksgiving gibberish.
festival.
We are at the part where we do shameless plugs. I got the opportunity to have an author, Susan Lund, writes a detective series, and she asked me to narrate the audiobook on Audible. So I'm very, very excited.
Whoa.
So we will throw the tag up down below in the comments, and hopefully everybody will click on it and listen to it. Part 2 gets delivered right soon, and then it's a series of them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she'll be stupid enough to let me do book 3, 4, 5, and 1700.
Wow.
That way, yeah. So what happened is I bought this stupid mic for the podcast, and once I paid $14 at Goodwill, I had to use it for something other than this crap. So
to write it.
Why not? Why
to fully
not?
depreciate that. Right. Absolutely.
My $17, bingo, tax deduction. So yeah, very excited about it. Can't wait. Hopefully it's exciting. The one book that we did read for Ear Candy is Motley Crue. They have a autobiography. Interesting. It's written by all 4 of the band members. And you know how, Henry, we often say, boy, am I glad all of the horrible things that I did and said and did to other people when I was a teenager. We're glad that there was no social media and that's gone. That can't be found. All those things never existed. Well, they are happy to tell all of it. I mean, the stuff that they're willing to throw out there, whoa. It is shocking the amount that they would tell on themselves. For instance, I will just give you one of the things I would not tell about myself. They started as teenagers and rented an apartment, and during that 9 months while they were poor, they stole all of the food they ate from the downstairs deli. They never cleaned the toilet in 9 months. They never took the trash out except for dumping it out of a broken front window. So it was rat infested, and the county, of course, got involved, and they are happy to tell about all those items. They do not have any tell-all is telling all no one wants to know. But
this was all the stuff that was left out of the movie The Dirt.
They left all of that out, but put it in the audiobook.
Maybe they could come up with a prequel.
The only prequel thing I can tell you is Nikki Sixx, one of the band members, when he wasn't in the band yet, he was 7, 8 years old. His family, his dad had an idea to make some money that they would breed rabbits. Well, of all the parts of that particular industry, what would be the one item that you probably wouldn't assign to your 7-year-old? Let me think. Would it be dashing the head of the rabbits over and over until they stop struggling? Holy smokes. No wonder he didn't clean his toilet for 9 months. Yikes. So, we have spoken of Jeffrey Dahmer before. I guess it's really good he didn't become a serial killer.
Johnny, some of the complaints we've had about the show from certain segments of our listeners is that this is, it's kind of a dude show. It's
What?
just for dudes. There's a lot of talk about death
What?
and how many seconds you have on your fuse once you pull the pin on a hand grenade. Is it 2? Is it 3? So I thought I'd soften it up and offer something a little more tasty for the ladies out there. And so this week, I've been listening to the artist Olivia Rodrigo. Have you heard of her?
Ooh, I have not because I am old.
Well, freshen it up, Johnny, because she has an album. I would say it's a new album, but it's not that new. It's been out for probably a year, called Guts Spilled. Now, that may sound like we're heading right back down Dude Alley talking about guts and things, but I'm telling you, this album will tantalize your tonsils as it plunges down into your gullet. Your bile ducts will explode with joy as every staghorn coral polyp in your colorectal canal vibrates with the songs that she sings in Guts Spilled. Now, Olivia is not your ordinary artist. She's one that's been tailored since the age of 5 by the Disney Corporation to come out and grow up to be a superstar, and she's done it.
Nice. She's Miley Cyrus too.
Oh, Hannah Montana. Olivia is a half Filipino young lady, which tells me a little something about why our listeners have suggested maybe that we cover her career. But it's headed only up, 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 up. And if you want an album that is got the edgy, post-pubescent girl talk about struggling to find a boyfriend that is both complete and will take out the trash, and you want to be prepared for reminding him to take out the trash, this album is for you. It is peppered with profanity just to give it the right amount of edge, and features the song Vampire, which I think she refers to a man as a blood-sucking parasite. But hey, that's all I've got on that. Check out the album. You'll love it. It's on Spotify and probably everywhere since she's had like 15 bazillion listens on the UK, whatever it is. She's very popular right now, Olivia Rodrigo. And I think she's headed to her 14th birthday.
That's awesome. Henry, you brought it to the pod today for ear candy, my friend, as usual.
Well, I only have our listeners to thank, both of them.
Well, they've done us a real favor in updating our res. I like that.
And that one's for the girls. Our one girl listener.
Yeah, we tend our analytics tend a little old, so it'll be good to get some younger, hipper topics in the pod. So thank you. We will tease that we're gonna do the New Year's Eve year-end pod, and it will be full of fun year-end topics. So we'll tease that right now. See you next time. Thanks, Heine.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and El Paso. Find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's ConveyeEquuip.com.